Hey guys, thank you for joining us on our YouTube channel here. I'm Edward with Everything Kayak. Today we are going to talk about the Crescent Kayaks Lite tackle. If you want to stay in tune with us on these videos that we're doing, be sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up and comment if you have any questions or any other suggestions on videos you'd like to see from us. So running into the specs, this is again the Crescent Kayaks Lite tackle. This is 12 foot 4 inches long. I think we're at about 34-inch beam. It weighs 75 pounds and is 450 pound capacity. So it's going to be a sit on top, and what we're going to do is we're going to go head to toe like we do with a lot of these. We're going to see the rigid handle up front, which is kind of handy. We don't get hooks caught in the cloth, things like that. We can usually either pop it off when we get back, or we don't have that issue with it sticking in. Bungee closure across this hatch up here. This is going to be a poly rolled. Easy access. We can even pop it open. Let's leave that on there. We can pick into it, get into that hatch if we want to easy grab something, or we pop this off nice and easy. So this is going to be kind of a rigid cover. It has gasket on it, which is kind of cool. So that's nice. They're getting into that. We've got the gasket. It's going to sit. Does not have a tether on it. Sure, you guys can play with that on your own side. That's going to gain us access into the hull. This is going to be the only hatch into the hull for this model with the way it's set up. We are going to see, we've got that recess around where that hatch goes. We're going to see some siping right here on the sides. So any water that runs in and comes down the edges is going to pull out and go right into the footwell there, or the cockpit. Put that back on. Two little quick hooks here. These pad eyes, which are a good option if you're doing a big bow bag or something. You could pop this off if you wanted to. You've got some attachment points. Just make sure you keep something to keep this hatch down. It holds pretty good though. We've got this little console section here. If you want to do fish finder mounts or anything like that, this is a pretty good option if you're not going to go to the tracks on the sides. Adjustable foot pegs, so we've got that availability. Pinch it from the back, moves in, moves quite well. This boat comes with the scupper plugs. We're going to have center scuppers on this setup. There's going to be two, one all the way in the front of the cockpit, one right in front of the seat, and then there's another one behind the seat back here when we're talking about the cockpit. You can see it right there. You're going to see that trough with these lines. These lines are going to run any water in your footwell down to that center trough and run it out of that boat. Try and keep you a nice dry setup. We've got pad eyes here. These are going to be good attachment points for paddle leashes, rod leashes. If you've got something important on here like a speaker or a phone on a holder, wouldn't be a bad idea to tie into that so we don't lose that. These are cool little bags, look pretty quality. These are going to be on there. Not a big bag, but if you got a waterproof phone case, that wouldn't be a bad place to keep it, some baits or whatnot. But what we're really liking is behind this is a void. We've got a recess back here, which is kind of neat. So what that's going to be is whatever you want. Personally, for me, I would probably, I'm having a little trouble with this, sorry. I would probably run leader material in there, keep the tag end out so I can just pull out, cut off what I need without having that spool all over my deck. And since there's not a hatch on the floor here, you probably end up utilizing those a lot more than you think you will. And there's one on both sides. So there's one port and starboard. Also, right up next to the seat, we're going to roll this up so you guys can see this. This bungee here is going to allow us to put a tackle organizer there, bring it over the top, and clip it to this little clip here. And that's going to be nice and handy. I'll tell you what, hold tight just a second. We'll be right back. So sorry about that, guys, but this is what we're talking about here. So we drop this in like that, come over the top, pull it nice and tight, but we get into this clip here, and then that holds that tackle organizer. We'll throw that seat back in, and we've got that tackle box right there off our side. What I would tell you is this size is probably about where you're at with it. Even if you wanted something, you know, even one over the top, that's going to hold your box a little bit better. You definitely have the availability. You can pop it out nice and easy, you know, and throw it back in however you want to lock it in and be good to go. So that's a cool little feature. Whether you use it or not, or whether you use it for a tackle organizer or not, it's a really good option to have available just to be able to put a couple things next to you. You can easily slip lip grips, pliers, stuff like that, run a tether for them off of that pad eye. On the sides right here at the beam, we're going to see these rigid handles again. really good option. Seat is going to have a lot of tensioning, so the way they're putting this cover on, we've got these two vertical ones for the seat back, two one way, one the other on the seat back as well, which is nice because we can get a lot of tension on those. We'll see the same for the seat bottom here, where we can tension that and adjust it over time. Are going to be little straps right here on the legs. These are going to keep our seat from popping up too far, so that keeps us from rolling that seat out, which is a good afterthought there. It's a good thing to have on that seat and make sure it's not going to go anywhere. But it does have the recessed legs here. That's going to allow us to take it out of the boat, sit it on the beach. And we'll see these cups where these feet go into for this kayak. What we're going to notice from the bottom of here is there's a indentation in the hull underneath. That hull under the bottom makes contact with the deck up top for all four of these seat post holes. So that's going to give you a really rigid platform for that seat that we're not going to have to worry about any flexing or stretching on that. We're going to see two mighty mounts from Yak Attack right there on each side on the back. These are a cool option because you can tie in any rod holder from those guys or any standard T-bolt accessory, whether it's a transducer arm over the side or a rod holder, a flag, a speaker, whatever you want to do, you've got a good option. And it looks like you could probably still get some flush mounts on the inside if you wanted that vertical storage. We're going to see again that pad eye right there. It's a really good option if you want to leash something up that's on those holders. Back in the tank well, again, like we saw in the cockpit, it's going to have that trough system where we're going to go to the solo scupper hole that's in the tank well. Everything's kind of set off, so any water is going to run down to the scupper hole. Again, comes with the scupper plug. EVA foam pads on each side, on the raised sides of each side of that trough. That's going to be pretty good. It's going to keep things from sliding around, keep them kind of quiet. Gear track in the back, really nice. I love, we were looking at this, so we have these oversized thumb screws on here. Also, this bungee is not locked into those, and you can pop it all the way off if you want to do something different for whatever your setup is in the back of that kayak. Also, what we're going to see, again, that's nice and easy to pop off. You can use short straps, whatever you want to, or any gear track accessories to mount down. We're also going to find these pad eyes up here that we talked about previously. There are also two pad eyes towards the back. So if you have a crate and you have some good strapping setups for it, you can easily utilize these and move that crate either all the way up to the front of that tank well or towards the back of that tank well and have a little space. Oversized cooler. Now we have some really good spreads. Even the handles back here, if you got something bigger, to go ahead and mount those down and keep them out of your way. And again, that bungee is nice and easy to set up and run across. Just like that, it's on. So back here, we talked about these little pad eyes. We are going to have split handles, and we're going to see a bit more of a flat transom there. Oh, I didn't say transom. I mean stern of the kayak there. So there's definitely some options that this is probably pushing you towards. And again, we're going to see the drain plug there, but you can see how squared off that is there. So guys, that is the Crescent Kayaks Lite tackle. Again, that comes in at about 12.4. It's about 75 pounds. Quite thick, by the way. That weight coming in for this 12-something foot boat is going to really show the thickness of that material that we're playing with on this poly. And then capacity about 450. So guys, thank you for tuning in. Like we said before, be sure to thumbs up this video if you like it. Give us any comments or any questions you have. Cheers.